Welcome back to Fabulous Angela, New York to LA. We are going to do things a little bit differently because there are a lot of levels here. We last left off on chapter 2 and she was going to New York. And there are 6 chapters to this game, and let me start by just showing you exactly how many levels there are. We're still going. Oh, it doesn't end there. Chapter 6 is a long one. So I thought there was 160 levels, but as you see, there's an arrow. We can keep going. There's a total of 185 levels. Okay, so let's get into the summary. So her and Killian end up doing this long distance Skyping kind of relationship. And she's talking to him, asking him to come and visit her, and he's like, well, I can't really come and visit you. The chief is sick, and, I'm needed here as a police officer. So, and he keeps pressuring to move in with her, and she's like, oh, did I give you an answer already? I sure hope I didn't. And so she's still doing that, playing that card, dragging him along, and she's like, look, I'm busy now, let's talk later. So, he's like, hopefully it won't be too late by then. Meanwhile, she goes out with Kelly, the girl she's designing the dress for, and just kind of showing her Hollywood and showing her the sights and paparazzi and stuff like that. Like, this is what happens when you become a celebrity. So Angela's getting a taste of being a celebrity, basically, by hanging out with Kelly. So after their little, dinner date or whatever, she's got 17 missed calls. Of course, they're all from Murray or Killian. And she forgets to call him back. So now we're back at the studio, and Kelly loves the dress so much that she wants Angela to collab with her in a, designer collab kind of deal. And it's going to be Kelly and Angela. Well, Angela doesn't take too kindly to this. She's thinking that, okay, I designed the clothes and Kelly's putting her name on it, so she's getting all the cred. But that's not at all what happens. Kelly, in every interview, does end up telling Angela, or giving credit to Angela. But Angela doesn't know this yet. So then she has another internal conflict with her angel and her devil on her shoulder. Devil's saying, oh, she's backstabbing. Angel's like, maybe we're misunderstanding that, you know the deal. So she talks to Killian about it, and Killian is kind of on the side of the angel, like, oh, maybe you should just talk to her about it, and stuff. And, Angela's pushing the whole, well, she's taking credit for my work kind of side, and Killian's like, I mean, she did provide suggestions for the design of what she wanted, how high the slit in the skirt and whatnot. So he's kind of on the side of Kelly, and Angela's still PO'd at the whole thing. And he's like, just don't make any rash decisions. Well, that's exactly what Angela does. She goes and talks to her, as Killian suggested, and makes a big scene on Kelly's set, and is saying, oh, you're taking credit for my work and everything. You can see it playing out here. And she's just not excited about Kelly taking the idea for her work, so she shreds the dress that she makes for Kelly, and they end up talking it out. And Angela does end up fixing the dress in the end. So, Kelly explains it's from it was her agent that made the arrangements. It was her designer, her agent, and everything that came up with these ideas. And it wasn't, Kelly's original idea. And so they talk it out. And, she's like, I got an interview, and I will make sure to give credit to you in that interview as you deserve. So they hug it out, they work it out, and she goes back to repair the dress. So she gets a new store with Kelly and Angela's name on it as well. And this is where she finds out that they want to do a reality show of her, working in the shop, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of weird. And, because Killian does end up visiting her, but he gets extremely uncomfortable of how Angela's acting in front of the camera. She's acting like it's a soap opera, reality TV show kind of deal. So he gets very uncomfortable, and he does end up going back to New York. And Angela stays back in LA. And, her agent's telling her, hey, this could be you forever. This could be years to come. So she gets her friends on the set of the reality show, and Jenny is doing a screen testing as an anchor for F News, like their big celebrity gossip news channel or whatever. On set, they're telling Jenny that, she's doing great and they love her, and, the producers are like, we love your friends, Angela, and everything like that, but that's not what ends up happening in the end. So, they're like, oh, we love, your group of friends, we love you, Angela, they're so New York, and, you're meant to be here in LA, Angela. So Angela's getting these wild ideas that she's meant for LA and her friends aren't. But, she's got the internal conflict again. Never forget who your friends are and whatnot. So then they fly back to New York and they call Angela or Skype her, and they are talking about their visit and how much fun they had and everything. And then Jenny breaks the news to Angela that she didn't make it to F News. And Angela's like, well, I thought your screen test went really well. And she's like, I thought so too, but they said my presentation wasn't fine and I wasn't glamorous enough. And Angela's like, did they say anything else? And she's like, that that I should gain more fans and that the style is wrong. And then Angela's like, well, I kind of understand what they mean. So she's kind of being really, really rude to her friends and creating turmoil there with the Fab Six or Fab Friends, whatever they call themselves. I can't remember. And so Angela's telling Killian, hey, I really like it here. If I got a place here, we could spend summers here, we could live in two places at once kind of deal. And Killian's like, I can't do that because I'm a police officer. They need me here. He's like, don't do anything rash. That's exactly what she does. She ends up going with her new friend, which is an influencer, and buying a house right next door to her. And I mean, this house is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. But then she makes another wild decision to run a shop right out of her house. They end up throwing parties and all kinds of things. Like, Angela's acting like a total celebrity. And she ends up kissing a guy at one of these parties at her house, and it doesn't go over so well. So Killian ends up finding out, and he's not happy. So he finds out that she bought a house in LA and 2 places to live. You could come and visit me, no cameras, because I know how much you hate them, yada, yada, yada. And, the house is big enough for us and stuff like that. And he's like, I already told you, I can't work part-time in 2 places as a police officer. That's not how the police force works. And Angela's like, I know, but I already did it. So, and he's like, just remember to stay true to yourself, Angela. And she's like, why does everybody keep saying that? So she tells him that, she's running a shop out of her house. And he's like, dude, that's not safe, Anybody could walk in. And after the first party, this is where he finds out that she kissed Ryan Root, another celebrity. And she's like, look, it was just for clout, it was just for publicity and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm the laughing stock at the force. And he's like, at the end of the day, these are all still your decisions, Angela. And, you're ruining us. You have no respect for our relationship. I mean, I can completely understand Killian here. I totally don't disagree with him. So then, Angela's manager ends up telling her that, you need to cater to a broader audience. You need to make your fashion more wearable for others. And the designer that she was working with ends up going into a press conference or an interview and doing a tell-all on Angela and saying some really nasty things about her. So she's got that going on now. Like, things seem to kind of be crashing down on poor Angela, as they should, because this lady can't make decisions to save her dang life. But I don't really think we needed 185 episodes to tell this story. Definitely there was a lot of things that happened in this story, but I don't think we needed this much. So her friends tell her to take some time for her, relax, don't really think, stay off of social media and everything like that. And meanwhile, F News is sitting there talking trash on Angela, like, oh, maybe LA isn't the best place for Angela, maybe she's now a has-been. And, she's no longer in the up and up, and gets angry, and she's like, you want big? I'll give you big. I'll show you how big I can go. So then she plans for this fashion show, to which she makes these dresses out of cardboard and, like, firefighter hosing, like rubber hosing. And meanwhile, there's fire in the fashion show and everything. She did tell the influencer, don't be swinging on the rope. The influencer did, because, she wants to go all out and, be the center of attention. So Angela runs to her aid, because she, of course, falls and hurts herself. And she gets all upset, and she's like, why are you making me wear this ugly dress? And, it's flammable, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, all this is caught on film. Killian comes to see her in LA, thinking they could work it out, or maybe just not end on such bad terms. And, she ends up telling Killian, hey, I'm sorry, it's just not working, we are two different lifestyles, and, I'm Hollywood now. And he's like, Hollywood really isn't you, you've changed. And she's like, I'm not going to pretend that it's easy or pretend that it's even, fun some of the times, but this is me. And he's like, just stay true to yourself, and I won't stand in your way. Just know that I will still be your friend. And, he's like, just don't change too much. And she's like, I'm trying not to. And he's like, I'll love you and I'll be there for you no matter what. He's such a nice guy. So in the end, this is where we're going to wrap it up here. In the end, Angela ends up making a big decision to talk to her manager and say, hey, look, I misunderstood you when you said my clothes needed to be ready-wear and they had to get out there for everyday people to use, and this is where I came to get inspiration. But I see that's not the case anymore, and where I shouldn't. She actually ended up talking to this gentleman here who is homeless outside of the studio or whatever, and she talks to him to get an organization to help get him off the street, get him in clean clothes and whatnot, and she starts being true to herself in the end. Like, the ending was good, but it didn't need to take 185 episodes. So she gets F News out for a press conference, and this is what ends up happening. She announces, I've made a decision. From now on, my stores will be filled with new outfits from some amazing talent. They will fill the stores with clothes for everyone in all price ranges. So you're announcing a new collab? Exciting. No, I won't be collabing. I'm handing my label over to them. I'm leaving the fashion business. I need to explore the real world for a while. I you can't dress up the outside without knowing who you are on the inside. So she decides to leave the fashion industry to find out who she really is. And I've donated all my leftover stock to the homeless. And, of course, F's never heard of anything like this before. But of course, I wouldn't be Angela if I didn't go out in style. So I'm leaving no trace behind and I'm burning bridges. So she grabs her stock, puts it in the middle of the street, and big performance from Angela, as always. Go big or go home. She sets fire to it, thus concluding, like, I am no longer in the fashion industry. So her friends end up being very proud of her, say that it was very brave of her to do that, and, now you're finally coming into yourself, Angela, like, you're finally finding out who you are. And, I don't know if they ever came up with another game after this one. So because it's a live press conference, they're like, well, we now see that, her collection is on fire, her announcement for a new collection. Jenny asks her, what's next? And she just says, just wait and see. And ends up walking away into the sunset. The end of this game, I mean, it was an ending, but this was not my favorite time management game at all. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry for the summary. Like I said, I'm not going to make 50 or 60 videos on just this game alone, doing 3 levels a video. Like, we can't do that. But anyways, be sure to leave a like before you go. Remember to subscribe, share the content. It really helps out a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.